Alright, looks like we're live now. What damn time? There's that, so I can actually. Okay. Alright, so let's get this underway. So this is my first time going to be streaming. Hell, this is my first time actually posting in a very long time. But I was given the task to fix up some airsoft pistols. So let's get to it. I'm actually in my garage. I got pretty much everything I need. This is actually just a rigged up setup, so I apologize. Alright, so I was tasked to fix up some airsoft pistols. And I have what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I got 6 pistols to work on. I was not exactly told what was wrong with them. So we are going to figure all that out together. And you know what? Even though this is my first actual live stream of doing this, I would like to get into the habit of doing so. So you guys can kind of learn how I do things. I'm going to bring my tablet a little bit closer so maybe I can not have it glare. And if anyone does join or decide to join, fantastic. If not, oh well, I give it a shot. So the first thing I'm going to do is grab the mag and load it up with gas to make sure that there's no air leaks. So I wasn't given much information on all these guns. It does seem like majority of them do take Glock magazines. Like this one here, it's a Oron. Never actually worked with this model, but it is a Glock. Then there's also this one, which is pretty much just a shorter barrel. Ooh, I do not like that. Take a look at this. So you actually see, it looks like the rod is coming out a little bit. Let's see what we can do about that. We also do have this beside in here. It actually looks really nice. It does have a red dot. It has an extended magazine release. And I can also tell it is upgraded just by the red anodizing there. As far as I know, everything goes in. I can hear clicks. So the hammer obviously works. Everything slides back nicely. Everything locks in place nicely. This one here, I've never worked on myself, but the bolt likes to just jam right up. I have a feeling it is just needs to be greased up, and it should slide in, but it seems like it locks into place too, which is not exactly normal. I gotta play with it. So it also does take a Glock magazine, and I have some BBs in there that I gotta take out, but one gun at a time. So let's see how that all turns out. All right, so there is no leak in this magazine, so that's great. So let's tear this thing apart. So it is actually kind of nice. I've seen this before. let's see if you guys can see that. So the iron sights are like cross iron sights. There you go. You can kind of see what the gun. Yeah, I've never actually seen that before, but it is pretty interesting. It even has optic fibers on the very back and at the very front. So with the Glock ones, Glock style, there's these little. I'm also just going along with all of this, but there's these little switches here. I want to call them switches. I don't even know what they call them. You have to grab them from both sides. So there is this on the left side. There's this one on the right side. You bring back the slide. Use your nails to pinch it down, right? And then right when you release the slide, it should go forward just like so. If it's really gummed up, if a gun is really gummed up, then it will have a harder time sliding forward or even back up or back. So that is why we like to maintain our guns and go from there. So this one actually doesn't seem actually too bad. There is a little bit of dust, but it seems very bone dry. Maybe the customer was actually complaining that this was not functioning properly. I don't actually know, but we're gonna take a look at it. So right now the trigger is actually forward in the firing position. Here for Glock styles, this is the hammer. So anytime that you press that trigger, the hammer that's inside the Glock will actually fire forward, and that is what will cause the whole mechanism to shoot forward and everything to go. So if this is really bad, then that little hammer right here will not go forward. So let's actually take a look closer. And I'm going to press the trigger, and it went forward. And then the trigger itself actually went back. So it does work. However, we are going to take a better look at all of this, tear it all apart. Ooh, I've never actually seen that. We are actually going to tear it all apart and maintain the entire thing. If anything needs to be replaced, we will replace it. So this rod here with the spring, that is the one that the other gun here. All right, so this one is popping out a little bit. Sorry, you guys probably can see that. So this one's popping out a little bit. I'll use my pale hand as a background so you guys can actually see it. Even though this one is popping, this one doesn't, but that is pretty much what I'm about to be taking out in a second. So I go against the spring and I just pop it out like so. And there's the guide. Here is the outer barrel and the inner barrel with the adjustable hop up. Oh, there we go. So there's the outer barrel, inner barrel with the bucking. It actually seems like that is, the bucking is kind of right down on it. I don't even know, I want to call it a gun rod, but I don't even know what it is. And then guide. And then here's the shell with the entire firing mechanism. Now I'm not going to be tearing this apart, but I will be putting some lube more or less inside of it and rubbing it all down to make sure that everything is clean and everything is working properly. It doesn't seem like the iron sights are loose whatsoever, so I don't really have to do anything. I don't have to use any Loctite or anything like that. Okay, so first thing I like to do is take a rag and actually just kind of give everything like a wipe down. I'm also going to be taking an unjamming rag, and hopefully you guys can hear me okay. Yeah, I'll be taking an unjamming rag and going through all this, making sure the inner barrel is clean because that's actually very important. Now this is just a whole maintenance video. This is not going to be like a breaking down absolutely everything in every single one of these guns. Just a break, just a little maintenance. So for an unjamming rod, get into the barrel. Okay, this is a very long one. This is a very long one, but what I like to do is take like a glasses cleaning cloth. I'll have to take some scissors. Just cut up a little square of it. Oh, I guess it's more of a little rectangle, but it doesn't even have to be perfect whatsoever. That should be good. This actually might not be enough. Let's find out. And just bring it in there, do a nice little rotation all the way out. You can actually even see there's a little bit of dirt in there. And then I'll rotate back out. And there you go. Maybe you guys can see it. Hopefully you can, but just a little bit of dirt, not a big deal. Should be nice and clean now. Take my little rag, clean the inside of the upper slide. Now these are actually not even my guns. I was actually asked to do these kind of as a test and trial. My captain on my team, which is Team Invictus, by the way, look us up. Captain on my team actually got in contact with someone that needed a hand getting these guns maintained in working order. So for all I know, there actually could be something completely wrong, like something completely wrong with these guns. I actually may not know it. But I like a little bit of a challenge where it's like, don't tell me what is wrong with it. I want to see if I can figure it out. So I actually haven't even tested these guns out yet. So I'm kind of just winging it here on what could or could not be wrong with these guns. I mean, so far, all I've really done is kind of dry fire them, even without gas. And all I've really done is just see that the hammers are working. I'm testing out to see if there's any gas leaks in the magazines, making sure that all of that works. And so far, everything works. The only one I'm actually really worried about is, which one was it? Was it this one? No, it wasn't this one. Where'd it go? Oh, this one's something. It's not that one. Yeah, this one here. It's the only one I'm actually really worried about is because this one is upgraded and it has such a light trigger pull that I can barely even hear the hammer actually click in. So I just want to make sure that I'm actually doing that one right. Because like you heard this one, right when I, here actually not even want to, there we go. So this one, because it has such a actual like defining sound for the trigger, I just want to make sure that the other one that I just pulled out also does work. Now it shouldn't take too long for each gun, maybe like 30 minutes each, give or take, more or less. And I'll give it a nice like wipe down of the entire thing. This is actually really nice. I also like the finish of the actual slide itself. Other than that, these are actually pretty clean guns. I wouldn't mind buying one, but I think I have too many guns as this. Okay, so now let's actually get to the actual lubrication of these guns. So I do have 3 different types of lube here. I have Dow 33, I believe is here. I used to use this for paintball all the time. I have some Lysol gun lubricant, which is almost empty. And then I have some pure silicone oil. I'm just going to turn up the heat a little bit. And I'm back. Ooh, this is really shaky too. Okay. So, yeah, anyway. So I do like to have a little bit of variety of lubricant. I usually use this pink stuff called Gun Swab. Really, really like jelly kind of stuff. Um, that's normally what I like to use, but I ran out, unfortunately, trying to clean up my own guns. So I'm gonna do this one first. And what I like to do is just kind of drop some of the stuff right into the actual, I don't even want to call it chamber. It's, oh, I'm sorry, I'm drawing a blank here. It's pretty much like the pin, the firing pin. That's pretty much what it is, but it shoots the gas forward to project the BB going forward. So I'm just going to add some silicone oil into that. And then I like to move it back and forth just to really get it moving. There we go. Then all you really need is just a few drops here and there. So pretty much anything that is actually going to be moving is what you want to put your oil. Now, I did get full permission to record and do live streams on these guns. So that is why I am here, live streaming. Now be sure also when you're doing this to be actually very generous on how much you're using, especially like right here too, right? So right here is where the outer barrel will actually be sliding back and forth, and it will cause this friction, which will cause the paint to pretty much wear off. Well, not paint, but anodizing, I guess it is if it's aluminum. But yeah, that's what causes this wear is up there. So that's where I like to usually modify the Glock and just kind of shave a little bit so it's not even really that noticeable. You know, even if one person kind of benefits from this video, I'd be happy. I know it's been like years since I've even uploaded, but that's okay. This is done, so I'm going to put that back in. I'm just going to use maybe some 33. And what I used to also have is this stuff called, ooh, no, I'm not going to like that. I don't know, might be thin enough to actually be okay. What I used to have way back in the day when I was a huge Bob Long advocate was, or enthusiast, was Bob Long's secret sauce. And all that really was just a little bit of Dow 33 and some, I think it was Triflow. And I made some of my own of that stuff, and I still have a little bit of secret sauce, but a Bob Long secret sauce. That's because I haven't really been paintballing in years, but look at that, we're already almost halfway done. Let's just do the same thing with Data 33. Data 33 is mostly for like O-rings and whatnot, but that's okay. So lubricant more or less the same, as long as it's kind of keeping the wear from like steel and steel contact. I should just put this in. Just gotta make sure you do it, put it in right. Let's see if I, oh yeah, there you go. And click that into place. And put pressure on. And line that up. There's like a little bit of, there you go. There's a little bit of a hole where a pin kind of goes in, but there you go. So that's the upper half done already. Now the second half is more or less just gonna be a quick little wipe down. Just anything that's gonna be in contact, really. And what I actually like to do is use the silicone oil and just drop it into the hammer. Just to keep all that moving too. Now there are two sets of tracks that I can even see on this gun. So there's the longer track that majority of the upper receiver actually sits on, and then there's the rear track where all the hammer is. And you can actually see some wear on both tracks, which is not a big deal. So if you actually look at it and you're like, oh no, there's so much wear on it, all the paint's come off. Well, no one's really even going to see it. I'm going to put some oil on the trigger mechanism. Just kind of rub that in. And there you go. That's pretty much your Glock done. So now, in order to finish it, you just slide it in right to the front. And then I'll just take a rag, and then there's going to be like excess lubricant. I'll just give it a quick little wipe down. Make it look a little bit clean, at least for the customer. There you go. You can actually tell that it was properly maintained. And then I'll just cycle it a few times. Oh yeah, that already feels super smooth. All right, that's one gun done. It locks into place when it's an empty mag. You can tell because it is, in fact, empty. No leaks, all done. So now we can put this one away. Nope, I have it outside. I'm actually gonna fuel up the other two magazines that are in this case. Just a little bit, nothing too much. No. No? Okay. No leaks? Oh, actually, there's a little bit of a leak. See if we can fix that. little bit bigger of an monkey. There you go. All I have to do is just tighten that a little bit. We're good to go. Let's test out the other one. Nope, I don't hear any leaks. Cool. My old man just came home.
Hey, buddy. What you working on?
I'm live streaming.
Huh?
I'm live streaming.
Are you?
Fixing the guns.
Awesome.
What do you think? Which one should I do next?
You finished this one?
Nope.
Oh, the Poseidon?
Yeah.
Poseidon sounds cool.
Oh yeah, there's Poseidon and Scuba, isn't there?
Oh, it's Poseidon and Scuba, there's Poseidon and ships. Everything. Cool.
Can you close the damn door though?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
No one's watching yet, but
I'm gonna get the meter down. Okay.
yeah, it's cold in here.
Huh?
It's cold in here.
Yeah. Jacket's probably a good idea.
Doesn't look good for the video.
Oh, I just think that the chest.
Exactly.
All right, but
There.
have fun.
All right. Now that interruption is done, so here is the Poseidon Custom. This one has the red dot on it, which is actually pretty nice. This is the customized one or the upgraded one. I'm actually looking forward to seeing this, and it also does have a fun switch. So who knows? Maybe this one actually, the fun switch doesn't actually work, but it's actually very nice and light. The grip is actually very texturized, and it actually is very, very balanced. I'm liking the porting on it, especially on the outer barrel here. I'm actually really liking that. So who knows, maybe just like in John Wick, it actually helps with the muzzle flip. But it is actually very skeletonized. I can even see the gun rod right through that port. Not sure if you guys can see it. Hopefully you guys can. So let's test out the mag, just like before. So far, I kind of hear a small, very small leak. Let's see what I can do about that. Oh, the leak just got bigger. That one might need a new O-ring for it. Okay, let's empty that out. Now you want to be very careful when you're actually dealing with these mags because they can very, very, very easily strip here. Oh, this one looks a lot better. So I have here a Phillips bit. Oh yeah, that felt like it got a little bit tighter. Yep, just solved it. All I needed was just a little bit of tightening. Not a big deal. The side, so that's already one problem solved. See, that's what I mean. That's what I like. I like it every single time I get like a gun to maintain. I don't really want the customer or anyone to tell me what is wrong with it. If they just say, "Oh yeah, it doesn't shoot," oh, what's wrong with it? I don't know. Well, perfect. Now I can actually try to diagnose what is wrong with it. Sometimes, if it's in a hurry, like we're all at the airsoft field, it would be nice to like figure out, oh yeah, there's a leak. Okay, well I can fix the leak very quickly. Yeah, my hands are a little chilly. Oh, you do not want to come apart. Okay. I'm having a little bit of trouble here. Doesn't seem like there's anything really getting caught in it, but let's see. Something is not letting it go forward though. Okay. Not liking this. See, now this is what I mean. I like that there's problems. Because when I get to solve it, okay, I can kind of see what the problem is. So the hammer seems like it's kind of stuck forward or up. Yeah, so right here, normally there's the hammer in between the slide, just like how the other one. There's the hammer that's kind of in the up position, and that is actually causing it to not want to slide forward. So I got to find a way to actually close that hammer so I can actually get it out. Now what might actually happen is that I might have to do this like off screen. And I can perfectly see it too. It actually is going up. We don't like that. We don't want that. So I might actually have to move on to a different sidearm for right now. Okay, so maybe the hammer, because this one is upgraded, and anytime like I press out on that trigger, like you can hear a very faint click. That click is not very satisfying. Unlike, where was the other one? Oh, I already put the other one away. Unlike this one, right when I rack it back, you can really hear that definite click that's going on. As opposed to this one, like anytime you rack it, yeah, sure, the trigger is in that firing position. It doesn't get that click, that satisfying click that you normally get. So maybe that's actually stuck in there, and that's why it's not clicking properly. Very interesting. I've never actually really had to work on that before. Okay, so yeah, I'm actually gonna save this one for another day, and I will move on to this here. This one is a VTech with an extended magazine, massive magazine. Now, what I actually, oh no, they actually did it. So normally these VTech, or at least the ones from Norwich, they actually have a spacer right here, and it very much limits on how many BBs you can get in here. Normally, if you do have that spacer, all you have to really do is take out the bottom, take out the entire the bottom with the valve and the screw in there, and then you can actually just take out the spring guide, take out that little spacer, and then you can actually hold on. I think it's another extra 12 BBs or something like that. So let's put that back together, and we're going to test out, see if there's any leaks on it. There is, and it's actually coming from the firing valve. That one might be a little bit harder to kind of fix because I don't have the proper tool for it, but let's see what we can do. Because there's no gas in it anymore, might be a little bit easier. Might be a little bit easier because now we can just press it. Ooh, yeah, I definitely don't have a long enough flathead for it. I might actually make like 2 pieces of it. And it also kind of looks a little out of alignment as well. Oh, what's actually coming from is right here. Okay. So what I may actually have to end up doing, taking this entire thing out. It may have to be replaced, it may not have to. We are going to find out. So there's a little pin right there. I'm going to try to poke it out. There you go. Hopefully this entire assembly won't come out on me. There, so we don't lose it. Give it a quick little wipe down. Who knows, maybe it's just a sealing issue. It only fits in one way, so. I'm actually able to kind of rig this up a little bit. what I just did was something I don't normally do, but just in case there is like a little bit of like an O-ring in there, which normally there is when it comes to air or sealing, is try to get some Dow 33 or Dow 55 in there. Maybe it'll kind of swell up that O-ring and seal it. Just gonna groove it in there a little bit. Let's hope that worked. Probably didn't, knowing my luck, but no, definitely did not. Okay, so I'm definitely gonna have to order a new valve for that. Which it actually does look very crooked for some reason, so. Okay, so I'll have to put that on the list of things I gotta do. This one, WeTech Glock 17. Came out nicely. So yeah, so the other gun here that I was working on. So what I think is actually happening with that one is that this hammer here, maybe see, yeah, there you go. That hammer there is actually stuck in that position while I'm trying to slide it right out. So because it's, anytime I rack it back, it's not falling back the way it's supposed to, just like that. And then right when I press the trigger, it just stays there, as opposed to the, or stays like that instead of going back like it's supposed to, as if it's racked back. So this one actually looks like it was maintained, I don't know, maybe 10,000, 20,000 shots ago. There is still a little bit of lubricant on there, but let's wipe it all down and then re-lubricate it with my stuff. And we'll get it working. This seems like it's just the magazine that is actually causing the issue, which is not a huge deal, especially if we know what the manufacturer magazine is. They're actually pretty generic. Like majority of these magazines actually fit into each other. No structure. So like this one, the Poseidon that we just did, even though I took that magazine out, they all fit together. Anyway, so let's do the lower receiver. Wipe down all the old grease. Maybe what I can do with the other Poseidon is just kind of play with it a little bit until it loosens up. And then I'll be able to open it up and then take care of it from there. Other than that, this WeTech is actually pretty clean. It's actually not bad. There's a little bit of wear. I definitely saw its fair share of field time, and that's good. The more broken in a gun is, the better. Until it's too broken in, anyway. So we'll do the upper side. So same thing. So I'm actually very curious on if anyone even ends up watching this. What kind of sidearm do you run? How long have you had it? And what made you get it? I would actually love to learn all about what you guys are using. How often do you guys maintain your equipment? Hell, I'd even actually love to read your favorite airsoft story, your favorite place to go, where you're from. Because there's actually quite a few places that I would love to go play. As you guys may have seen in the channel, there was PRZ a long time ago, well, a couple years ago now, during COVID when they shut it down. That was a great field. This actually be adjusted. It's actually like completely open. Like normally the hop-up bucking is like closed, but this was not even like touched. And then on top of that, the rotation for the bucking actually doesn't want to move. Interesting. Oh, it's not my gun. I'm not going to adjust it. I'm not doing this to adjust it. I'm just doing it to clean it, maintain it. I'm not going to be taking it shooting anywhere. So it's not exactly my responsibility to adjust it. For all I know, they could like it exactly how it is. I like to close up the bucking a little bit at least. Yeah, that way I can shoot a little bit heavier BBs. Here's another question. What weight BBs do you use in your sidearms? I usually go like 0.25, 0.28. Usually works for me. Got my little barrel rod. I think maybe I'll just do 2 guns tonight. Because it is like 10 o'clock at night anyway. Oh yeah, look how dirty that one was. I don't think you guys can see it. Oh yeah. Like that was nice and pink before. So yeah, this one has definitely seen some stories. Which is good. I'm glad that these guns are actually being used. Nothing is worse than actually just buying a gun and never using it. So with the first gun that we actually did, remember how I was saying that I'm saying actually a lot, how I would modify some of these guns at the top slide. What I would normally do is actually just kind of grind up right here at the slide. That way it eliminates a little bit of wear on the outer barrel. So you see what I mean, where it keeps on sliding back, it'll just rub up on there, and that's where I'll shave off just a little bit. Anywho, let's get my gun lube here. I'm going to open up the piston. Just put a few drops in. And then just open and close it. Just to really move the lubricant in there. Oh yeah, there we go. There's a good opening. Anything that causes friction, anywhere that gets an opening, that's usually where I put the lubricant. As long as you don't put a flame to it, it's not like the propane's gonna combust. good thing to also do, especially if you have not iron sights, RMRs, is there's a little screw here that goes to the iron sights as well. You can also check the iron sights, but you want to either Loctite with blue, never red. Either Loctite it or just double check it just to make sure that it's actually still on there. And I use some Dev 33 just to do the shell. Even if you just spend 30 minutes just cleaning up your guns, they can last you a very, very, very long time if you just keep on maintaining it. And I also find it very relaxing, actually. Like just sitting here, especially if you have like a movie or your favorite music on, you're just sitting here and you're just kind of just playing with your guns. If you take care of your guns will take care of you. Whoever just joined, thank you very much for watching. Hopefully you're having a wonderful day. This is more or less the first time I've actually live streamed, especially me doing this, so I apologize if I'm doing something wrong, if you can't comment. Let's go 3-3. I'm actually quite surprised on how many people do not even know how to tear apart their guns and maintain them. Even with paintball guns, like paintball guns nowadays are actually super easy to maintain. Normally you just take out the bolt and all the O-rings and everything's right there. It's not like you really have to take it apart the rag or anything. I don't know. Maybe just some people don't know how. I mean, I've learned most of maintenance from YouTube, especially when they have like ChatGPT nowadays too. I mean, that just makes things so much easier. I was able to fix one of my Novrich guns just by using ChatGPT. That's the upper receiver done. Now it's just the lower, which is not going to take long at all. Just some Dev 33. Sooner or later, I'd actually like to have like a more stable table and an actual camera setup where it's not so like moving, so shaky. And then you guys can also have it like the camera can be more like you can actually see just everything on the mat instead of everything on the table. That'd be lovely, wouldn't it? I'll just drop some here as well. Just for the trigger. I also like to do like a little spring. So there's the spring here for the trigger and the locking mechanism as well. I also like to just put a little bit of oil in there. Anything that moves. Okay, so that's pretty much it. Look at that! I did 2 guns in like an hour. Quick little weight down. Make sure there's no excess lube. Look at that! That's freaking beautiful. There you go. All you have to do is just rock it a few times, and you're good to go. So, other than this magazine just having the issue up here with the seal, I'm gonna have to order that and get that sorted. It's just the valve though. Other than that, yeah, that's 2 guns done. I'll have to work on the others. I think I have about 4 guns left, and maybe I'll do them over the weekend. Let's see, how do I get it? Take care, guys.